Welcome back. On this episode of the Ultimate Trader Workshop, episode 3, we're going to discuss a series of things that took place this week. Actually, trade that I took and it was very successful on, but it's pretty easy because it was one of my favorite patterns, the Advanced Bat Pattern. But you guys know by now, I'm not going to enter a trade unless it's confirmed with the trade 3BR or 3-bar reversal, the way that I've started to coin it. So let's jump right into it. Let me show you what took place, and then maybe you can incorporate this into your strategy, but to a higher degree of success. So I'm dealing with this market here, okay, just so you know, just so your eyes aren't getting lost, okay? So we ultimately want to help train your reticular so that you see what I see, okay? So we're dealing with this market here. And of course, it was me identifying this impulse here. This would be the X to A leg, okay, of our advanced bat pattern, okay? And then, okay, so this is our impulse leg, this is X, this is A. Here's our retracement down, okay? That's a 50% retracement, and I'll bring on the tool to make the measurements so that you can see. Then we come up here to the valid C leg, and then we come and fill down here at D, okay? So here is our bat pattern, okay? But let's talk about the rules of engagement, okay? Just for a refresher. And if you want to know more about the advanced bat pattern, we do have a class on the bat pattern in the Harmonic Trading Academy playlist. But let's just go ahead and do some validation on it real quick. I'm going to grab our Fibonacci retracement tool. Remember, I said B is valid as long as it hits the 50%. That's the minimum requirement. Must touch the 50% retracement of X to A, but cannot touch the 618. It cannot touch the 618 retracement of X to A because that invalidates it as bat and sends it into Gartley territory in most cases. So just measuring just to be sure where we are, starting from the swing low. Get used to using your Fibonacci, okay? Swing low to swing high, okay? You see, here's our 50% retracement on our fib, okay? And you see price action come down and wick and touch the 50 and does not go down and touch the 618. C is usually pretty easy up here, okay? Because you only need a very slight retracement, 38% on the way back up. That's about 50. We're good there. So X, A, B is good. Once you hit B, you can give yourself a thumbs up. Just get used to doing that. When you're looking at bat, when you see that you got 50 and you don't hit 618, chances are you're going to have a good bat pattern, okay? So C is good. When I made the retracement to validate the B leg, that 50%, we just automatically bring on the 886 for the D leg completion because the D leg is an 886 retracement of X to A, the same way that B is a 50% retracement of X to A. So you just bring them on both. It's a shortcut. It's a cheat code. We're advancing it. We're making it faster and easier. So you see the pattern come down here and fill, okay? Now, prior to me incorporating the 3-bar reversal into my system, I would have just taken this trade. I would have been too excited and I would have taken this trade. I would have entered either that or I would have had a limit order there. But where I am now, relying on confirmation, things are different. What this does is this allows me to filter out patterns and even advanced patterns or harmonic patterns that fail, because you have no confirmation. Just because it filled means nothing. And I don't care how many other filters you put in there. Are you oversold? Is there bearish confirmation? Is there bearish divergence? A lower time frame confirmation? It really doesn't matter because you still don't have the confirmation that you need in terms of the real price action. So that leads me to the second part of the combination and the filter using the trade 3BR. Now this one was a little bit tighter. This wasn't A+. You guys know I want the A+, right? So let's break down the confirmation and the entry, okay? So here's our engulfing candle, okay? Bearish engulfing candle, okay? Followed by doji. It's a little bit bigger on the body than typically I would like, but it's still a pretty good doji. I would like a smaller body, like a thin little wafer type with upper and lower shadow. Just with a little bit smaller doji is what I'm saying, but this one is okay. And then the only problem with this one is we don't close above our doji, but it was so close. I actually broke my rules and got lucky on this one, okay, and entered. I couldn't. See, this is where we learn. This is where we grow together. I couldn't turn away from this one. I'm glad I didn't, but it's a lesson learned. Like next time you might not be so lucky. But our 3-bar reversal is there. We just need that to close above the doji. It's okay. So immediately we can just jump right into targets, knowing that we got our trade set up. We go ahead and enter our trade. We did that. And then let's go ahead and plot our targets because we're dealing with the 3-bar reversal. Okay, it's going to be Fibonacci retracement from the most recent swing high to the swing low. Okay, I'm going to take the 50 and 886 stuff off of here so we can see. And I'm going to bring on this 618, okay, for the target here. Okay, so this is basically the way that this thing played out. And this is why we target the 618, because you want to get in and you want to get out. Now you can get aggressive and try to get more, but it really just doesn't make sense to reach like that. Okay, so profit and loss tool, bring that on so we can determine what our risk versus reward looks like. And remember, there's a certain number that we're looking for. Okay, our CTS, our combined technical score, a part of that says on your win-loss, is it more than 2.5 to 1? Okay, at minimum 1.25 to 1. And here we got 2.57, so we almost got 2.6 to 1, more than a 2 to 1 risk versus reward. Now I do want to add one more thing to this. Entering off the 3-bar reversal allows us to put the stop right below the doji, or the low in that structure, right below it. You don't have to go any further, because if price action comes against you and takes you out, you don't even want the drawdown. You want to say, okay, it's invalidated. I'm perfectly fine with that. So these are other parts that build on your trade psychology. But the old school, the impatient way, the incorrect teaching that a lot of us came into, unfortunately, you got to grow up out of that, stipulated that you will go ahead and enter after the fill and the close, enter here. It would have been the same thing, basically. Enter after that closed, which would have been here. And it stipulated that the stops needed to be below the X leg, okay? You still could target the 618. Now, in this example here, this is 1.93, almost 2 to 1. But our confirmed trade is 2.6. Our confirmed trade using the 3-bar reversal actually beat out the old school way of just entering when it filled. Plus, entering when it filled had no confirmation. Anything could have happened. Now, that doesn't mean that anything couldn't have happened on the 3-bar reversal, but we just added another layer of confirmation and probability to something like the bat pattern that is already pretty powerful with a pretty high success rate. So we basically combine, let's say, a 55-60% success rate. I'm really not too sure what the bat has. And we combine that with the 3-bar reversal for confirmation. We layered up two very powerful tools laid on top of each other, indicators laid on top of each other to give us a higher degree of confirmation. And then, of course, price action comes up. I do want to talk about the psychology riding through this. You're wondering what's happening because price action comes up. Get happy. Price action starts coming back down. Okay, so you're actually in a negative at some point. And trade psychology wise, this is where you have to be strong. I'm going to say this on every video. To not close your trade, especially on 3-bar reversal, because you typically are going to get a retest of that entry before you get your reaction and your W. Okay? So, hopefully this one is helpful. Give this one a thumbs up, like the video, okay? Share this if you know someone that it can help, or someone who's interested in advanced pattern recognition and harmonics. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified when amazing videos like this come out. Last but not least, head on over to the Harmonic Trading Academy playlist where we teach the advanced pattern and the 3-bar reversal, as well as everything else that I talked about in this video in detail. That plus about 38 more classes free on the house. No gurus, no gimmicks, no payments, no discords, no Lamborghinis, no flashy, no fake. All here free on the house at the Harmonic Trading Club. You guys, be good. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next video.